Chapter 1. The warrior goddess lives in every woman. A warrior goddess is a mythical concept, as told in several cultures from the Greeks to the Indians. She represents the peak of feminine strength and achievement, a leader and also a fighter. A warrior goddess is a woman that can start a revolution and forge a change while being assured of victory no matter the odds. The warrior goddess knows her strengths and how to win every battle she faces. When women feel lost or overwhelmed by the battles they fight, they need a strength source, so they look to this figure of strength and will. But as will be explained soon, you don't need anyone to be your tether or center. You are a warrior goddess too. Open yourself up to the vast possibilities that are within you. Don't deny your strength and accept your vulnerabilities. It is more powerful to be in complete control of both your power and weakness. A warrior goddess knows how to use both to get the victory, and so should you. The warrior goddess is the woman who has discovered her unique talents and doesn't shy away from utilizing them. A warrior goddess is that woman who is centered and present in the here and now, who doesn't labor herself with past mistakes or losses. Instead, she uses them as fuel for the journey moving forward, fully aware of her path and where it leads. The warrior goddess is you. Start your training today. In the following chapters, readers will be exposed to the steps to become the best versions of themselves. You can say goodbye to being afraid and ordinary. It's time to take your destiny and shape it as you wish. Chapter 2. Make a conscious commitment to yourself and be intentional about your journey. You owe yourself complete trust and commitment, not because it's cliché to cut yourself some slack, but because sometimes you can be too hard on yourself. You would do well to stop judging yourself so harshly or comparing yourself with others or an idea of perfection you've been exposed to. We are imperfect in various ways. You have to be your own cheerleader and pick yourself up when you fall. You will not become what you think you should be by merely bullying yourself because the ideal way you think you should or mustn't be doesn't even exist. You should accept who you are becoming, and focus more on bettering yourself in the here and now. Cultivate the habit of focusing on the here and now so you don't lose sight of who you are. Life is an endless cycle of beginnings and endings. That's the balance. It doesn't operate in a linear progression of failure leading to success. It can be a cruel and brutal roller coaster of losses and wins all jumbled together. It's best if you accept this instead of trying to hold back the storm. When you understand that life can deal you losses right after wins, you'll find peace even in the chaos. That situation you wish to nurture and keep from ending might be a seed to a new beginning, but you'll never know until you let nature do its thing. You must learn to tell endings from beginnings and accept the possibility before it even happens. Letting go can be scary, and we often shy away from it, but it's always better to give yourself the room to grow and experience new things. Without endings, there cannot be any beginnings. Both serve their purpose in bringing balance. Chapter 3. Learn to treat yourself better and never lose your footing. Sometimes we let hurtful thoughts linger in our minds so long that they become a clutter of unhelpful material. These thoughts do so much more harm than we even know, often dragging us deep into depression. Your mind and body are sacred. They deserve to be treated as such. Don't give room for harmful thoughts to linger in your mind. They don't serve any good purpose. Treat yourself with as much compassion as you would treat others. And let that compassion guide and help you find the strength to cleanse your mind of any lingering negativity. Your mind and body, like a temple, also need to be devoid of any dirt. If you would be kind to random strangers because you want them to feel better, then you also deserve this same treatment. Also be kind to yourself. ensuring there's no accumulation of negativity in your mind or stress in your body. Be kind to yourself. When you feel overwhelmed, remember, you can let go of the things weighing you down. For us to completely heal, we must make intentional efforts to be centered and present. This means we must pay more attention to who and where we are at this moment and start from there. Frequently, we labor our minds with thoughts of the past and even the future, but never the present. To get past our barriers and trauma, we must remind ourselves that we only exist at this moment. Being grounded is very important. It helps remind you that you belong somewhere, and you can always go back there when things get too messy. It also means, even in a storm, you have a sturdy and steady anchor to keep you from floating away. A warrior goddess is unmoved and aware in the moment. You too can unlock the warrior goddess in you. Did you know? Being around positive people has been shown to improve self-esteem and increase your chances of reaching goals. Surround yourself with people who will lift you and help you see the bright side. Chapter 4. Unlock your sexuality, creativity, and discover the strength of your will. It is essential that you discover and own your sexual flow, understand and learn to maneuver it. When you are more in tune with your sexuality, you release a tremendous amount of energy residing within you. This energy is known as passion, with the potential to revitalize and energize your being beyond measure. We are balls of energy waiting to be harnessed. Once you unlock yours, you open yourself up to a much more vibrant life. You can unlock your sexual energy even if you don't have a partner to explore it with, and this creativity isn't reliant on anyone else but yourself. Once you discover this, you will not be dependent on anyone to bring you relief or the release you crave. You can unlock your sexual energy through the following steps. Try self-pleasure. Self-pleasuring is a great way to reconnect with or unlock sexual power. It helps discover just what pleases you the most. You can experiment with toys, as your hands, dildos, and vibrators are an excellent and healthy choice. Exercise is another option, and it helps acquaint the body with varying movements that can maximize pleasure. An example of good exercise is yoga. Although this might sound far-fetched, sounds are an effective way to recenter and activate stagnant sexual energy. You can try singing, whistling, or humming. Last but not least, breathing exercises are a compelling link to our sexual side. They are also a great way to cleanse the mind and body when combined with meditation. The energy we unlock doesn't mean we are invulnerable or can suddenly do everything on our own. Sometimes true strength is in knowing when to depend on others for support. You are strong, and once you discover this, you can do just about anything, but you will still need some help. True strength is knowing that you don't need to do a lot even though you can do it alone. Being vulnerable isn't the same as being weak. You must understand that a warrior goddess can still be wounded and will be needing some tending to. The strength you need now is choosing the right people in your corner, those you can run to for guidance and solace. The truth is simple. Life is perfectly imperfect and unexplainable. HeatherAsh Amara, Chapter 5. Let your heart speak in its truest form. Fear can creep in, owning to past experiences or hurt, forcing us to shut our hearts away from everyone else. And we are wholly convinced that this is best for our hearts, keeping them away from any possible hurt. But if you don't open your heart up, you cannot heal completely. Don't let fear force you to live in a cage because of the past hurt or experiences you've had. Start slow. There is no rush. It can be scary, and you might need to take several breaths before opening it up. But this is one of the safest and best ways to heal your heart completely. If you keep your heart locked away in fear, you'll only be letting fear hold you in a cage. Let your heart out. Let it speak freely. The words it will say might be too bold, and as such, you feel the need to keep them under wraps. A warrior goddess is bold and daring, unafraid of the opinions that others have on what she should or shouldn't say. Live free. There is so much in your heart. Let it speak so that the world can know your truth. It is possible that with so much we have to endure and experience along the course of living, that we have unwittingly stored up so much negativity and stress. It would be so much better if you committed today to let it out and declutter your mind of the things you keep silent for so long. To discover these truths, you must first listen to your heart and know when to speak. Be kind to yourself so your heart feels free enough to speak up. Chapter 6. There is wisdom within you. Let it guide your path. You might not know this, but within you is a deep well of wisdom waiting for you to reach in and draw from. We often overlook this fact because we think too lowly of ourselves and refuse to see our glaring potential, a regrettable flaw in our oh-so-perfect being. We are our own most prominent critics. We pick apart our lives, find faults, and always judge ourselves harshly. We must recognize our true worth and treat ourselves right. We are valuable and wonderful. There's nothing wrong with having flaws. Perfection is a myth. You hold a wealth of knowledge within you. Quiet your mind and tap into it for much-needed guidance. It would be best if you had this wisdom to take the day head-on and conquer. You can't afford to neglect it. To tap into it, you must quiet your mind, centering all your focus on the voice within you. Once you are still in your mind, you will be granted access to a vast amount of information made ready for you. The guidance you need is designed to discover that your path is unique, and so are you. There is no one quite like you, and this in itself is a gift you must cherish. You are not defined by the mean thoughts hovering around in your head. You are unique. You must cultivate positive thoughts about yourself and not let the negativity find a resting place in your heart. There is no one like you and none with your path, so own your path and follow it through to fulfillment. You have so much potential for greatness, and you need to accept this truth. You are a creator, guaranteed the power to give life and sustain it. You are an inspiration to others, and you unknowingly continue to inspire with your life. The path is yours, unique and profound. Follow it diligently. Let it take you to actualize your transformation to the warrior goddess. Our deepest healing occurs when we learn to be our own best friend, companion, and cheerleader. HeatherAsh Amara. Conclusion. Warrior Goddess training is a firm reminder that so much of our happiness comes from within. You must learn to harness and appreciate it and stop focusing on the past things because doing the latter will only lead to more frustration. Warrior Goddess training is a cycle of instructions, not linear, which means you can do whichever you feel most comfortable with first and go back to the ones you feel you didn't fully grasp. But first, you must learn to accept yourself and have your own back all the time. No one else will be there for you if you abandon yourself. It would help if you appreciated beginnings as well as endings, not disregarding one or the other. When you accept yourself, you must treat yourself with kindness and reverence because you are a sacred temple that needs to be built on the surest of foundations. Within you resides so much energy you can use to thrive in whatever you choose. Own it and open your heart to the vast possibilities that wait underneath. Let your heart be free to express its truth without any reluctance. You owe no one any tact or courtesy. Let the wisdom within you guide you to journey gracefully on your path towards becoming the warrior goddess that you always were. Power does not come from who you know, what you do, or how much money you have in the bank. It comes from blossoming into unconditional love for yourself and embodying joyful faith in your unique gifts. HeatherAsh Amara. Try this. When you feel overwhelmed by the worries and stress of life or your career, Always remember that it is not a show of weakness to ask for help. You grow in strength when you share your battles with others. You will heal more quickly when you open yourself up to help. If you have trouble figuring out how to ask for help, perhaps it feels awkward, here are a few tips. Don't overemphasize. Be honest. Don't make the people you ask for help feel indebted. Be open to accepting their help.